My name's Marina Pepper. I'm a climate camper and we're protesting here in Trafalgar Square during the Copenhagen talks because we think the Copenhagen talks are a load of rubbish. We're obviously breaking loads of bylaws by being here. They tried to do us under sort of squatters' rights, but it's going to take about 28 days to get us off, so our protest would have moved on by then. So they're saying you can't have tents, blah, 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 in this public space. And this morning they came round to ask us all our names and addresses, which is a formal first step. That's what they do. And now the police will come back and ask us, and anyone that doesn't give their name and address can be arrested. And we can be asked to leave, and it can all get a bit in the courts now. That's the problem. What was fascinating about it is the man that's doing it, he's just doing his job, and actually he's not saying I'm not sympathetic. My job is to come here and do that today. So we must accommodate him because, you know, he didn't ask for this. He's paid a wage, probably not a brilliant one. We should find out if he's unionised. So that's that. They want us off here, but we're not going. We wanted to build and grow by the weekend. So I think that was an interesting game for them. That when they started going to the tents and we started making the noise, the public just stopped and they were with us. And that's really interesting. So if that builds towards the weekend, we might get a momentum going where they just can't stop us and we can fill the square with tents.
I mean, it's quite interesting actually, as you said. I mean, the general public is with the campaign. But what are your views on the leaked documents yesterday? Come as a bit of a shock even from you.
I was shocked. You know, like completely corrupt capitalist bastards in corrupt capitalist move shock horror was kind of it. Very, very depressing because you just think, I'm an optimist, you know, you don't camp out in Trafalgar Square in December unless you're a bleeding optimist.
Exactly.
And I didn't think it would be brilliant, but I thought they'd water it down and they'd go, oh, well, we're really going to be nice to the poor people because this is the new regime and this is going to be a nice green, fluffy, cuddly form of capitalism. You might say business as usual, but we like to say greenwash or whatever. And they haven't. They've gone, me. The only way we can do this is to cut loose every country that's likely to go down with flooding, famine or disease. Get rid of them because what's the point? Population's too big. Let them go. Right, business as usual. Rich countries get together. You've got to have so much money to be in our club and then we can carry on with business as usual and the planet until our grandchildren, you know, are the last fat people lying on a couch in the world.
And what was also shocking is that they're actually able to bypass the UN and the Kyoto Protocol, which is...
Exactly, they basically said, all this is a load of fucking rubbish, we'll just get on with our GA, a little cosy, or... It's really bad news. I mean, it is kind of... If people didn't want a revolution 2 days ago, they should jolly well want one now. But unfortunately, we have all these bylaws that stop people coming. People have lost the tradition of growing their own food and getting out onto the streets and protesting.
Well, I mean, our issue is that the market that took place in our area, we want to know why food was chosen as the reason, you know, the sort of the content of the market when we already have food within a local area. They're calling it local and it actually isn't. And most of the people would like to see a more diverse market, including everything that we produce in our area, which is a lot of non-foods actually come into this very highly sort of already intensive food area. So we just obviously need to ask the questions back to Lambeth as to why they're travelling food from 30 miles away. Bread, in the case of my opposition to, you know, I have a bakery which is 150 metres away from the site. We're already well, you know, serviced. We service the local community. They like our bread, and all of a sudden we're competing against a manufactured market by our local council to actually come in where they're bringing in bread from 30 miles away, and we want to know why. Particularly in this climate.
I can see the environmental issues involved in basically, you know, the transport of the goods into the local borough. Would you like to expand a bit on?
Well, I myself, just to let you know, do not have transportation in a car throughout the whole week. Part of the week is on a bike, where I actually go down with a little bucket on the bike, a crate as it was, and I go and source all my food and I bring it down. I believe that, if we're trying to do something on a global level, we can also do as much as we can on a local level. So we've already done as much as we can on a local level to sort of achieve this. So to help the council achieve their own target emissions and everything else, we would rather that they engaged us in it rather than engaged a third party on a contracted out basis that don't have any of our local concerns as part of their agenda. So they, there's no local participation on the market, so all the food producers in the local area are not invited to the market, and we're now in direct competition economically as well with producers that are coming in from outside. So apart from the economic impact on our own local area, we've got the fact that we're now competing with a loaf of bread that's travelled 30 miles, which is completely against all the grain of what we're trying to achieve. So, the questions that we're trying to ask is how this actually came about in the first place.
Tell you what, the future's not what it used to be. The future's here, that's the problem. There is an inbuilt problem, like capitalism is crisis. You can't have infinite growth with finite resources. You cannot put profits before people. It just doesn't work. It just does not work. And it shouldn't work. Why? Because that's like basically saying, oh well, we've abolished slavery, but we'll just do it another way. We'll just make sure you've got just about enough to eat. And we'll just give you just enough choice that you think you've got choices. In fact, you haven't got any choices.
That's it. Thank you very much. Yeah.